has been described as an international language that transcends barriers. Fives football is easily accessible to all, irrespective of age, gender, race, and socioeconomic background. Five-a-side football is the fastest growing format of soccer in the world, and Fives is an effective vehicle to educate, motivate, and inspire.
Football is obviously a passion point. Football and music as a way to drive cultural change, let's say. But specifically, the fastest growing form of football was five-a-side. And we'd seen huge opportunity, successful businesses in the UK, and it hadn't been brought to South Africa. What we did was we saw that as a great way to create a social spin, whereby we had these facilities that were generating revenue and profits in the evenings, but in the daytime were underutilized, and could therefore be harnessed by schools, NGOs, and good societal organizations to add value to the South African society.
The two biggest differences, or one of the biggest differences in five-a-side compared to 11-a-side, it's a lot quicker, there's not a lot of breaks in between, the game is constant, so you can definitely use it for your fitness to play 11-a-side and just to sharpen yourself so that you can play 11-a-side better.
So fives we started actually when I was 18, and I failed very hard for my first 2 years, being a naive millennial. And finally we got the right team together and the right set of investors when I was 20 and still studying economics in the UK. At 21 I emigrated to South Africa, and our core team's been with us ever since. So fast forward 8 years, we now have 18 venues across 6 provinces in South Africa, 60,000 monthly customers, and are really beginning, in my opinion, to finally make waves at the general football level across South Africa.
Fast football and its soccer school, it basically started this program not only to create good footballers, but we wanted to create nice, good young leaders for the future. So our focus is not only solely on football techniques, but also teaching these kids how to get along in a group environment, how to be a team player, how it works within a team environment where everybody has their specific roles to play, but it also forms part of the whole. And I find that in Cape Town at the moment, a lot of people are so caught up in their own little bubble that they don't understand how their actions can affect the person next to them. And that's one of the things that we try to push at Five Soccer Schools, is that your behavior on the field as a certain player affects everybody else around you, whether it be positive or negatively. So you need to try and portray the positive side at all times.
So any form of exercise is obviously like a positive spin on health, and you can see it's the way the world's going. I noticed that even me and my friends or my staff now are eating healthier than they did a while ago. The advantage of us is it's five-a-side football, so it's very intense. You come, you arrive, it's a 40-minute, very quick-paced game, lots of goals, continuous sprints, and you're touching the ball more frequently. Going back to the juniors from a development angle, you're touching the ball more frequently, so you improve quicker. There's a reason that Brazil and Spain have been successful in recent times in soccer, for instance, because they start five-a-side at a young age and they push kids to play on a smaller environment.
We take kids from every corner of the globe. We take kids from every background, so to speak, and we give them that opportunity to express themselves. So you'll find at one session, we will find somebody from the Noon, for example, that is sponsored by Fives, rubbing shoulders with a young boy from the Camps Bay community, which you would never have done before, and they play in the same team. So getting to know each other. As kids, we learn more when we're enjoying it. So we try to make it as enjoyable as possible for everybody else.
In the area of Century City, there is a school around the corner called in Joe Slovo called Sinunjongo High School. Now Ravi began supporting the school a couple of years ago, and we used this facility with the majority of its profits actually funding maths and science teachers at the school. We've then gone as far as employing former students of the school to come work for us as well. The most amazing thing about this is the school's matric pass rate 5-6 years ago was 28%. And with consistent investment and focused on teachers who can impact the kids' lives, it's gone to 94%. Now, moreover, we obviously offer the school free access to facility and train their football team, and we even had 2 of those kids go on to play for Ajax in the junior levels. So it's been a really holistic, successful circle.
Besides all the coaching that happens on our courts, we also go out to the less privileged schools and we offer our services there as well if we can't bus them into our facilities. So we are part of quite a few non-profit organizations that does sports and recreational activities at schools across the Western Cape. So yeah, it's not just about coaching and our junior programs here, but also extending that program out to the rest of the country or the rest of the province where they don't have the facilities to do this.
South Africa has the highest Gini coefficient in the world. I studied economics at university, so it's the highest sort of sense of inequality on an economic level. You can't build a nation and a country with such disparity if those that have aren't giving back to those that don't. And I think any business in this environment to really succeed has to have that at the very core of why they exist. So in terms of Sedaka, we give back in a number of ways. The first thing for me always will be employment, because we need more jobs in this country and it's the only way to drive consistent economic growth. But then as a platform for NGOs who specialize in solving social problems, if we can give them this great platform and make their lives easier for them to focus on education or ECD or giving the right opportunities to the right kids that currently don't have them in their environment, that for us is outstanding. And finally, in the actual physical give back of resources and money. And the moment you're bringing communities together or physically funding extra sports facilities in schools or running leagues specifically for free for certain communities, I think we're kind of making a difference, but we can always do more.
Our facilities are based in very diverse areas. So like we've got this perfect facility out in Century City, but then we also have a similar facility out in Lansdowne, which is surrounded by gangsterism and drug abuse. And it's an outlet for these kids to get step away from that and feel safe in an environment where they are loved and they're enjoying what they're doing, which is football. And we don't do that only 1 hour per week. We encourage him to come more often, even if it's not a formal training session, but just to get away from the everyday life. Come and kick a ball and enjoy yourself. Just be free.
So we always viewed ourselves as a platform for the right NGOs and equivalent organizations. So we've built great infrastructure and we've got staffed infrastructure in good locations, and organizations pursuing the right social aims can then use us as a platform. So if they're focused on HIV testing, they can use us as football tournaments where the incentive for the young male, let's say, is to play football for free if he undergoes an HIV test. Similarly with gender-based violence initiatives, it can be a safe space for girls and women to talk about it on obviously one of the football fields. And thirdly, obviously we try to be a platform for local schools when they don't have fantastic facilities like we do. One of our other great campaigns we've just finished with Total Sports for Mandela Day, which is called Plant a Ball, where we know a soccer ball won't solve South Africa's problems, but by a small step in giving 1,500 away to different beneficiaries and letting the beneficiaries, i.e. the charities, pitch for a bigger allocation of balls, showcasing their great work and getting major media behind it, was a really, really spirited campaign. And it's something that we've grown over a 5-year period, and we're seeing sort of more long-lasting effects within that.
Oh, I met Adam back in 2010 during the World Cup, and I was immediately intrigued by this young man and his vision and his passion for not only football but for social upliftment, and that is how I got involved. If it was purely about money and a job, I probably would have gone somewhere else, but his passion for upliftment and the community is what brought me here, and that is why I think we work so well together, because we've got a similar mindset when it comes to uplifting the community. Adam has brought me from a place where I was working in retail, to be honest with you, and he has encouraged me to better myself and gone from being just a casual coach to now at the moment running the entire junior program. So my journey with Adam Fine has been a long one, difficult one, but it has been a very rewarding one.
The things that Adam has done with the company and where it's gone, it only inspires us to follow in that mold, really. The company's grown. From where I started, there was about 3 venues in Cape Town, and now it's national. So what he does and the way he works with us, it's only for all of us to improve.
Fives Futbol's Derech Eretz is to provide these wonderful facilities across the country and leave no community untouched, thus creating jobs in those environments and giving more and more great NGOs the chance to use us as a platform to make South Africa a more wonderful place.